Welcome to NYNJPA Weather, your severe weather source for the Northern Mid-Atlantic. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. We're going to start this morning first with a trip down into the Gulf of Mexico by the Bay of Campeche. And what we have here is a weak disturbance that is rapidly developing off of the Mexican coast. Now, there is about a 50, maybe 55% chance that this disturbance becomes a tropical depression before making landfall this afternoon. However, as you can clearly see with the upper level winds in blue, this disturbance is being shoved right into the Mexican coast, and as a result, really won't have much of a potential to develop much beyond a tropical depression by this afternoon. In fact, much of the precipitation with this disturbance and the low level circulation will be over central Mexico by this time tomorrow morning, and in fact by this afternoon likely will be making landfall. So I really don't see much in the way of development with this disturbance, but it's something to keep an eye on as far as heavy rainfall in Mexico. And if you have any trips down towards Mexico over the next day or so, keep an eye on this disturbance, as it will probably produce some rather wet weather conditions throughout much of central and eastern Mexico. Back in our neck of the woods, it looks like Mother Nature has thrown a little bit of a curveball for all the model guidance that was suggesting clear skies this morning. What we have here is a mid-level disturbance ahead of some dry air moving in from the Great Lakes, and this disturbance is creating enough lift to take the remaining moisture left in the atmosphere and produce showers and a few weak thunderstorms, which of course is going to be a surprise to many individuals outside for the late morning hours into early afternoon hours. Now, this is not going to be a prolonged heavy rainfall event at all whatsoever. If you have plans this evening, go out there and enjoy them. But behind this area of rainfall, which will move through by early this afternoon, dew points drop off rapidly. Let's take a look at the latest surface map. As you can see with this map, which is from the Storm Prediction Center, an excellent website for some mesoscale or small scale analysis if you ever want to do that. As you can see, the dew points are in green and blue. Now, in the blue is basically below 50% and relatively dry. And if you get into areas where it's white, it's bone dry. So, as you can see, we have a significant gradient setting up over much of the northern mid-Atlantic, and you can see there's certainly a push of dry air into the northern mid-Atlantic behind this secondary cold front. So once these showers move through, dew points drop, skies begin to clear, and temperatures jump back up into the 80s, possibly touching a few lower 90s. The forecast of predominantly lower 90s over portions of the Philadelphia metropolitan area likely will have to be tempered because of these showers, which weren't expected. So still, it's not going to be a horrible day at all. By this afternoon, especially if you have any plans this evening, if you want to go outdoors, it's going to be perfect. Clear skies, low humidity, and temperatures falling into the 70s. So overall, not a bad forecast once we get past these showers. What about the rest of the week? Well, for the rest of this week, into this weekend and into next week, high pressure is going to be in control. Now, initially, the high pressure system is going to be over the Great Lakes and move towards the Mid-Atlantic by Saturday afternoon, which is what we see here from the European model guides from the Penn State EWOL website. Before the high pressure system reaches the coast, we'll be under a northwesterly flow, which means our humidity will remain low. Temperatures will still remain above normal in the 80s to lower 90s, but overall, a pleasant period of weather for the end of this week. This weekend, though, the high pressure system shifts off the coast, which allows our winds to shift back to the south and the southwest, which means a return to humid conditions once again. So this weekend into early next week, at least through Tuesday, expect tranquil weather conditions, but warmer weather conditions with widespread upper 80s to mid 90s for highs, especially on Sunday and Monday, and an increase in humidity with dew points returning into the mid 60s to lower 70s, which at times will produce some areas of fog in the morning and then some muggy conditions in the afternoon. So if you have a pool or you're going to the beach this weekend, perfect weekend to do so. Just watch out for those riptides and apparently a few sharks. But overall, an excellent weather pattern heading in for this weekend. Thank you for trusting in NYNJPA Weather as your severe weather source for the Northern Mid-Atlantic. You can always trust on the latest weather information via Twitter, Facebook, and of course at nynjpaweather.com. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Have an excellent day.